folks, I'm Tina Hui with Follow the Coin. We are the homepage of digital currency and fintech. Welcome to this snippet of Bit News. If you've been following any of the current events in digital currency at the moment, there is no escaping the tale and mystery behind the now infamous Alex Green, the former CEO of Moolah.io. Or is that perhaps Ryan Kennedy? Albright? Gentle? The story is yet unfolding, but it is definitely one that is filled with lots of layers, and we hope that there will be some sort of clearer resolution moving forward, and that Moolah.io, regardless of whether or not Alex Green is still involved with the company, which has now announced their bankruptcy in their latest blog post, will indeed honor their customers' refund requests. If you did indeed do business with Moolah.io, fret not. They say you have 1 month to request a refund. So if you did do business with Moolah.io or have some digital currency with them, do request your refund in a timely fashion, folks, because it's not very clear what will happen if you wait too long and the period in which they have stated that the coins will be returned to their customers is done with. For more information, do go to Moolah.io and check out their blog. Okay? Well, alright folks, if you're watching this, Follow the Coin did some in-depth research and investigation in the last week to kind of uncover all of the details and figure out and put together some sort of understanding and a timeline for which we are all reviewing to gain some clarity, if any exists at all in the situation. So hang tight, and here we go. At the time that this post comes out, one of the biggest news events in quite some time is yet unfolding, along with a hunt to discover what has happened to the person that some knew as Alex Green, CEO of Moolah, and yet who might perhaps have multiple other identities. As the story unfolds, it's coming to light that perhaps Alex Green is Ryan Kennedy, Ryan Albright, Ryan Gentle, and a list of other multiple identities and personalities who could be the same exact person that kept manipulating and taking advantage of people, scamming them, and disappearing with lots of money over a span of 10 years in multiple industries. To call the story of what could be a scammer who has successfully gotten away with manipulating and taking advantage of people on the web over so many years is shocking, dark, horrifying, and also incredibly scary. Especially since we at Follow the Coin have also had discussions with Alex Green via Skype not so long ago in April when Moolah stepped up as a major sponsor for Dogecoin SF and again to support our coverage of the Doge car in Talladega back in April of 2014. And it's unfathomable to believe that the following could be true. But all of the evidence coming to light is pretty hard to argue against. As a whole, it's no secret to anyone that Bitcoin has both a dark and a light side. Darknet spots like Silk Road, Mt. Gox, and the like litter the landscape, mixed in with tales of companies trying their best to not just stick with solid entrepreneurial and also financial ethics when it comes to running their business. Much like institutionally invested Coinbase, BitPay, GoGoCoin, Kraken, Multipool, and more. For the most part, what folks have come to call Bitcoin 2.0 has a lot of great entrepreneurs and minds trying to carve out solid companies and reputations in the space, while the few uncertain and perhaps questionable companies and individuals who remain have either learned their lessons and are getting with the program to legitimize business practices or are turning up as of late with bankruptcy declarations, each one bringing a blow to the wallets and faith in those who wanted to believe in good effort and support yet another Bitcoin digital currency and blockchain technology company and entrepreneur as more and more incredible innovations and technological advances get built. The challenge with any entrepreneurial bankruptcy is that sometimes there seems to be a very difficult line to distinguish between wondering whether somebody actually made a lot of honest mistakes along the way of building a company, or if they were intentionally and knowingly taking advantage of other people's innocence and faith in their company and efforts. It's easy to overlook when folks cry out that they have been scammed and such. Sometimes it really does boil down to careless or clumsy business practices, either knowingly or not, made by the entrepreneur. And other horrible times, there are those who don't really care much about taking advantage of others, and their greed for money and power leads them to find ways to scam people out of their hard-earned and at least rightful money. It's an unfortunate reality that illicitness is encouraged in part to Bitcoin's anonymity state, though the same can be said of currency in the form of cash. And while the truth may surprise us yet, the story of someone everyone more recently knew as Alex Green, the now infamous former CEO of Moolah.io, who is reputed to be from England, is one that is hard to believe indeed. By now, what started in 2013 as a mild inquiry into the legitimacy of Moolah.io's troubled Bitcoin exchange and of Alex Green's identity has led to Dogecoin's leaders presenting and making public evidence that the now former CEO of Moolah.io is not who he claimed to be at all. In fact, it's possible that he could very well be a long-time web scam artist known by many different identities through many years. Is Alex Green Ryan Gentle, Ryan Albright, Ryan Fletcher, or Ryan Kennedy? All we know for certain at this time is that the evidence and cryptocurrency community's accusations and claims of fraud and theft against him, more specifically that he has stolen up to $350,000 from investors by using multiple identities and Bitcoin exchanges over the course of years beyond Moolah.io, has led him to resign reluctantly and confusingly. In the end, he could have been lying entirely about who he is. If the evidence proves to be true, he is a liar and may very well have been scamming people for years. Since 2005, as far as the details in Encyclopedia Dramatica show, in an entirely different industry to boot. If you're curious, we got a lot of the information packed into one article, and we will be sure to share that link. If Alex Green is indeed Ryan Gentle, Albright, Dawson, Fletcher, or Kennedy, the disturbing thing is that Alex Green's profile and behavior is pretty consistent with this Ryan character's profile, who has since changed his identities multiple times. True to form, Alex Green has been ever eager to sue for libel if he thinks you might write something true about him or are questioning his business practices and identity. It's also confirmed from many sources that interactions with him can best be described as aggressive, stressful, and at least a bit abusive, and even cleverly elusive, while also being very charming and intelligent. The identity of CEO Alex Green, whose known alias may be Ryan Kennedy, aka Ryan Gentle, came under question yesterday after it was revealed that he could be the same Ryan Kennedy that raised 500 Bitcoin, worth about $227,000, for the crypto.pm exchange in April of 2013, which never saw fruition. Allegedly, crypto.pm's story and what is being revealed as possibly 10 years of similar scams are the workings of the very same person that founded Moolah.ch and .io, in an almost identical exchange to crypto.pm, whose website's design and investment offering can be reviewed and found to be very close to that of the Moolah PIE investment offering that also just declared bankruptcy in a blog post this week, taking with it hundreds of thousands of dollars in investment funds. In the case of crypto.pm, Ryan claimed to have suffered a heart attack and be the recipient of death threats. Oddly, Alex Green also experienced the same and went quiet for quite some time as well. A Google document revealing Green's multiple identities was posted and circulated earlier this week by Jackson Palmer, the creator and founder of Dogecoin, and Ben Dornberg, former Dogecoin Foundation member, after they became concerned that Green had defrauded investors and customers following Moolah's blog post on Tuesday, October 14, 2014, in which they announced bankruptcy. The blog post was curious. They did keep assuring customers that their funds are safe and available to be withdrawn within a month's time. It comes as no surprise that Palmer and Dornberg have gone public with their discoveries as they in turn do not hide any surprise that Moolah is not continuing. The pair, the Dogecoin Foundation and Dogecoin itself, were certainly pushed to the limits by Alex Green earlier in 2014, when he kept threatening to sue for inquiring about Moolah and Alex's legitimacy, which ultimately forced everyone to step down from the Dogecoin Foundation altogether. Since then, Dogecoin went from an enthused and active state to one that was largely dormant from that time until the present day. For more details on that, TechCrunch has published an article which describes and links to the events that encompass Moolah's initially prominent, then controversial, and ultimately destructive role in the Dogecoin community. Perhaps the Dogecoin leaders got more intrigued and motivated to investigate further this time around when Alex Green's bankruptcy announcement was followed shortly with a backtracking claiming that it had found new venture capitalists to back the site. In his own words, as a result, we are halting proceedings for dissolution and winding down our bankruptcy and will be fighting tooth and nail to keep things going. What kind of CEO does this? And it's important to note, no VCs were named to allegedly keeping the site afloat. Less than 24 hours later, Green had resigned, even though he claims, as he always has, that his identity is irrelevant. And sadly, that is turning out to be possibly the most authentic thing he has ever said. Holy smokes, talk about a cloud of confusion. We'll definitely be following the story and reporting events as they occur to you as they happen. So stay tuned, folks. This is definitely turning out to be quite the fall season for digital currency. Alright, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again soon. Bye, guys.